Welcome to the Music and Love Date Party, where we use music we love to heal and build the intimate relationships in our lives, including the one with ourselves. All right, so I am one Nate, your DJ conductor. With me, as always, is Crystal Farrell of Let's Be Extremely Crystal Clear. All right, and we are joined by two very special guests that I know pretty well. We have Stacy, we have Vincent, and our song of conversation today is going to be On the Run 2 by Jay-Z and Beyoncé. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into this first topic. So our first topic is ride or die mates. All right, ride or die mates. So in the first verse, Beyoncé says, I don't care if I'm on the run, as long as I'm next to you. And if loving you is a crime, tell me why do I bring out the best in you? That line is hard.
Yeah, it is.
That line is hard. That line is hard. So our first question is, what does it truly mean to be a ride or die mate? Like, what is that? You know, obviously people say it often, but like, what does that really mean for real?
I say no matter what, good, bad, indifferent, you're here.
Yeah.
It doesn't represent that person to the fullest, and right or wrong, I got you. And it's my hope that you have me. I know you do. So that for me is what ride or die is.
Okay.
Where if he's going off a cliff, I'm riding too. I'm in the
You're riding
passenger
too.
seat. So that's just the way that I see ride or die.
I absolutely agree. We didn't even know we were ride and die until we were in the beginning stages of our relationship. I remember you had an interview at a law firm, and in Fayetteville, and the person that interviewed you said, "Give me a phrase that represents you." And you came home, you told me, you said, "You had this awkward question," and she said, "Well, once I'm committed, I'm committed. I ride or die." And he kind of questioned you on that, and I said, "So literally, that's what we're doing, but did they understand it?"
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, ride or die.
So I feel like sometimes the whole phrase of ride or die can be like overly romanticized,
Right.
where people don't know their limits to how far or at what point should I become a ride or die. Sometimes people are like in the beginning stage of dating and they're already riding or dying, you know. And so I wonder, is there any limits? Do you all think there are any limits to being a ride or die?
I do think that there's a period of time in the early stages of a relationship where you need to get to know each other and feel each other and understand that this is someone that I'm connected with. Of course, from day one, you're not my ride or die. We're just cool like that. We're just cool like that. But over time, you feel that connection, and when it's mutual, it will just form naturally. You know, I felt in my heart that he was my ride or die, maybe before he did, but I'm not. But I felt that in my heart that was the way that we were going to be. It just took some time for our relationship to build and grow and get to that point of being able to express that and to show that, you know, express it and show it simultaneously. So.
I like, and I totally agree with what you're saying. There's a beginning stages of what happens with couples. They quickly want to go from we met to we're now an item, some title. That's my man, that's my woman, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
We just cool like that, whatever the cachet is at the moment. However, they go from that and they take that huge hurdle to that title.
Right.
There should be a foundation of friendship. And yeah, we married 21 years next month, together 27 years this year. We're still friends.
Right.
Friends first. So when I meet younger couples, I talk to other people, say, "Yeah, you know, I want what you want." I'm quick to say, "You don't know what we went through."
Right.
And you can't be so quick to get a title and say, "This is who I am," without having friendship.
Right.
The friendship is ongoing. It doesn't just, "Oh, we met, we're friends, let's wipe that out and let's get to the next stage."
Right.
We're still friends. Best friends. Don't always agree. And you shouldn't always agree.
Right.
She's very important. I'm very important. One doesn't cancel out the other.
Right.
Right.
So that friendship will, if that's grounded heavily, the ride or die will eventually come. and it should always be.
So let me ask you this: within the first 5 years of you all dating, were there any limits, any difference of the limits that were then versus where you are now, 26 years later?
If there were
21
limits,
years.
if there were limits, they weren't lines drawn. I mean, I think that we just knew that there were certain types of limits that we had in place without kind of drawing out the lines of what those limits were. We kind of knew because of the slow pace that we were moving at what they were. So gradually those limits just moved out over time until we finally just kind of let the floodgates open. But it took quite some time. Like, we had to get to know each other. We had to know each other's families. Like, we knew that we were progressing to something. So there was not just that we're dating, we're going out to eat, and this, I'm dating your family, you're dating my family.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was just a true progression of our relationship because we knew we were taking it someplace. So it wasn't just a Vincent and Stacy dating. It was Vincent dating Stacy's mom, Stacy's family, and vice versa.
I think a lot of people, to your point earlier, they want so bad to say that I have a ride or die or that I am a ride or die, and so they don't, because that's their mindset. They don't even set any sort of parameters, right? Any sort of boundaries, right? So I actually knew a young lady who she took a drug charge basically for her boyfriend. Like, he has some stuff on him, and he already got some issues going on, so I'm gonna take the charge.
Yeah.
And I mean, to some people, it sounds cool. Like, it sounds like, oh shoot,
But was it mutual?
is it mutual? And then it's like, if you knew what he was doing, you have to be that one to say, all right, yeah, I'm actually straight. Like, we're gonna just be cool or just be friends or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that you have, especially in younger couples, that's why I'm glad you all are here. That you have to have at some point, you gotta say, all right, this is as far as I'm going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right.
about to catch any bodies.
Right.
I'm not about to, just
Right.
put my life in jeopardy. Because, like you said, how much are you really a ride or die for me if you're gonna put me at risk?
Right.
You know?
Right.
How important is it to the relationship to kind of have this, even as it relates to what's going on, right? So you have riots going on right now, you have protests and everything like that. Where does it come into play where, hey, this is where I stand on this, and I'm not moving, so you need to be there if I'm there? I guess, how does that really come into the relationship?
It's different for us. We were at that stage, and her stance in religion was here, and mine was there. Both heading towards the same goal, but different levels. If you look at today's situation, I think this current situation of COVID-19 and everyone converting to either different scenarios, it's not the norm. We work from home, or you work from home, and you're learning about things. I think what's happened is that people learned to horn in and learn each other, and they thought they knew each other. We're still learning each other.
Right.
Every day, we're still learning each other. And then I have some friends that's like, man, I gotta get out of this house. I don't know who I sleep with. and you're saying, what? Yeah, we can be married and have kids and do everything, but working with her, being with her 24 hours a day, right? You kind of see some things. I said, well, it's not always going to be perfect, right? No one here is perfect. We all have flaws, I don't want to throw a couple under the bus, but we know a couple, and it's like they're married 12 years, and you would think they just met 5 months ago.
Wow.
What's his is his, what's hers is hers. I have mine, he has his, and it's not right. Well, I'm not going to say it's not right, but I mean, 12 years in, it's not us. 12 years in, you would think it would be one, a complete union.
Yeah.
But teach his own.
Right. I agree. We have learned a lot going through this pandemic and these riots, and as far as us having a different approach, I think our goal is the same, but our approaches are sometimes different. So that can make things interesting at times. I wouldn't say they're arguments, but you're learning somebody from a different perspective, being together 24/7. Like, I'm learning how he works.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's learning how I work. We share an office. It's big enough to accommodate us. However, we're back to back in the office for 8 to 10 hours a day. We walk out of the office and we are at home, cooking dinner or whatever it is. And we've learned a lot about our stances on certain issues.
Right.
Learning how to date each other solely, again, without having the kids, as part of, like, they're 20 and, 20, they're doing their own thing. So we don't have to consider taking them and, kids' meals and focusing on bathing and dressing and things like that. So, our perspectives, we're learning all over again.
Yeah.
And it's fun because it's like, he's not the same as we were 27 years ago. I'm not the same. And it's interesting and it's fun. It's like we're a new couple. We're an old new couple. Or a new old couple.
One of those. It's kind of like if you read a book,
Yeah.
you read it, you read it for the first time, I like it. Months go by, you read it again, you read it a totally different way. You get a totally different perspective.
Right.
It's the same book, same title.
Right.
This is different. Now I'm touchy, but we're learning, and I know I wouldn't be nowhere I am today without Stacy, my wife. I wouldn't. We have a couple that's married the same year, 2 years longer than us, and I always tell him, I said, Tom actually been married longer than me. He says, what do you mean? I said, I knew I was ready, but black men are afraid of that title commitment. They're very afraid of that. You get into it, it's like, oh man, we together. We ain't, what they say today, we ain't together. But if it repeats, whatever it is, I'm hungry. I wasn't hungry. But I knew then. I knew then, but I was just afraid of commitment, and it's a good thing. We should have been married. If we 26 years, we really should have been married. I knew then. I'm assuming you knew, right? We're gonna edit that.
So let me ask you, what do you think it is about black men being afraid of that commitment?
Ooh, touchy feel.
Yeah.
Touchy. We are quick to say I'm not good with committing. And I have another friend, a friend from high school in New York, who lives here. And he said, nah, I'm not good with commitment. But he's committed to not committing. So you are committed to committing. You just choose a different thing. It's unknown. Our parents, like your parents, two-family household, two-parent household, grew up and they raised their family, and then the children grew up, and then it's a different lane, and it's like, nah, that's my baby's father, that's my baby's mother. I don't know when that came into play, but the foundation is different. So that we don't even commit to that. We don't want to commit to being religious. We don't want to commit to being employed. We don't want to commit to taking the hard path. We want to take the shortcut. We want to take the shortcut. So getting back to commitment, I don't know. It's got to get back to the roots of what was instilled in generations and generations. They were committed.
Well, I think too is that our mindset has been kind of tainted, right? Just by people who have had bad experiences.
True.
And it's like, man, I would never get married. Shoot, man, she took everything, you know what I mean, or whatever. And so it's like you keep hearing that, you keep seeing that, and I know, for me, I've seen a lot of couples fail. I've seen a lot of marriages fail.
Right.
And as a kid, you grow up, you're thinking, all right, you married, and so and then you start, you get older, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh shoot, dang, they was together 10 years and that fell off. They was together 5 years, and then when you start seeing people like, oh my God, we're so in love. This is, this is it, and they're everything, and the next thing like oh, y'all not even talking now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that all of that just kind of plays. So at the end of the day, you have to commit to commitment, right?
Mhm.
Right.
But it's seeing the other stuff kind of. I mean, you can kind of make anything make sense in your own mind if you really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
No matter what it is, but it's like if you see enough people, especially if they're comfortable, like, oh, I just got my baby mom over here, or I got my kid over here. If you see people comfortable with that, you're like, well, I guess maybe it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think that's what
I think it's like a mixture of fear and the way things are now has made so many things so much easier, right?
Right.
When we look at technology, like everything has been made to convenience. So when things get hard, people don't really understand hard work anymore. They don't understand to push through. When things get hard, it's like, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna go to the easy route. You know what I mean? A lot of times the easy route is the bailout, is the quit. And that's one thing is like people tell you about, and I'm not sure you guys can say to it, marriage or relationship takes work.
It does.
And people don't understand that. People get stuck on the beginning stage, right? In the beginning stage, everything is all green. Yeah, the honey, like you're loving each other, you're having fun, nothing but laughs. And as soon as things start to get rough, they're not used to it. And because this now takes work for us to get to this next point, they bail out. And I think that just does a lot to the way society has been. And when you say like committing to jobs, everybody is so quick to quit. Everything is a drop. I'm dropping it. And we're using it as a mask to say, self-care, I'm protecting myself.
Right.
When in reality, that's not always the case. Sometimes you're just bailing out.
Right.
True.
Right.
True. That's a fact. That is a fact. Commitment, and we all want the shortcut. We all like just what you said. You see people say, "Oh, I want a relationship." They just see what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't see the other 23 hours.
True.
Of what was required to get to this moment right here.
Right.
And they just want the reward without the work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Your focus is wrong. You're only doing it for show.
Yeah.
It's not genuine.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy.
Let me make sure we help some groups of people out here, all right? And we could easily like transition to the next topic where we are. But I think that this question is really important because a lot of people don't know. How do you determine if somebody is a ride or die?
How do we determine? I think it's a natural progression. It's not a I stepped over the line and you're my ride or die. I think it just becomes a natural progression, and you feel it in your heart, like you feel it in your spirit that this person is that person. And it's not the butterflies I'm talking about that we get from feeling, that the new love and stuff. It's just something in your spirit that forges a connection. And I think that people can really identify a connection versus the butterflies, but they want so badly to just have the connection. And they ignore maybe things that are very important that would say, this person is not maybe right for me, but I want so badly for this person to be my ride or die. So I feel like, for me, there's just an internal connection. Like we all have this intuition. Everybody has it, and it's whether you choose to listen to it or not is the difference. And, being older, I listen more. When I'm younger, I don't, because what I want is what I want is what I want.
Yeah.
And the way I want it to be is the way.
Get it, we get it, right? We get it.
We almost made it through the first topic. We almost made it through.
You can edit that part. But I think that it just comes with maturity, and I think that's why a lot of relationships maybe fail for younger people, because they have a different ideology about what a relationship is, and sometimes they don't fully discuss that in the early stages of the relationship because they're enjoying themselves, they're having fun, they're dating, but they're not really talking about what they want to get from this relationship, and not only what they want to get, but what they're willing to give for the relationship. So it's not so much always what you want to take away from a relationship, but you have to be, you have to make deposits just as much as the withdrawals.
Right.
I feel.
I don't even think there's a timeline
There's
to
no-
say when we've converted from this to a ride or die. There's going to be some hurdles. There's going to be some testimonies. There's going to be some, you know, you have to clip and you got to make a decision. You don't even know you're making a decision that's going to
Exactly.
justify you to being.
It's just a
And he or
transition.
she was there for me. I didn't even realize it.
Right,
It's
right.
not going to be so noticeable. It's not going to be a badge. It just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens. When you can do something for someone and not look for anything in return, that's a form. Or you can just, you know, just genuinely be happy for somebody that you don't even know.
Right.
This happened last night. We were up late last night looking at another show, not like
Okay, just
just
watching
another
the
show, and we felt sorry for the young lady. Outcome was great. When the show was over, we went to social media and looked it up, and I was like, Jesus, they're teary-eyed. I didn't even know this lady,
Yeah.
but I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
When you can be happy for somebody that doesn't benefit you, you're in the right path.
Yeah.
You don't even know you've
Yeah.
become a rider.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think along with what you're saying with the spiritual connection and also what you're saying, behavior patterns matter too. So I think when you're noticing someone's patterns of behavior and you're seeing what they're doing, you're seeing, hey, this person's stuck here, you know, this person was on my side doing this person was here,
Yeah.
they didn't turn their back. And then a lot of times, I feel a lot of times with the younger couples, they're doing the breakup to get back together, breakup to get back together.
Right.
That instills a feeling of one, lack of commitment, of course, but that inconsistency doesn't make you somebody that I can count on. It doesn't make me feel like you're going to be there because I don't even know if we're going to even be. If you're able to leave during our arguments,
Right.
then when things get hard. So I also think just behavior patterns make a
Right.
difference as well in determining, hey, and seeing the patterns and saying this person has been there, this person may not be there because they're kind of always walking out as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So we have some parting gifts for this particular topic. So as we were just talking about before, just how do you determine this person's a ride or die? So one thing is untamed feelings can make you a willing participant in being deceived. To determine the character of a potential mate, you must observe their behavior, as you alluded to. Ask foundational questions, right? Questions that invoke people to answer, to give answers that you all can build a relationship upon. Be patient with time
Right.
and believe what's true. Believe the truth. Like I said, they show you who they are.
Yeah, believe.
Believe.
Got to.
A life without limits is a life without discipline and structure. Deal breakers or limits will help to establish the expectations for the relationship. All right? And lastly, the number one question everyone should ask themselves, I believe, as it pertains to their mate or potential mate is, can I trust them? Can I trust them with my heart? Can I trust them to support me? Can I trust them? Can I trust in the presence of their loyalty? Can I trust them to fight with me and fight for me? Can I trust in their ability to be a parent? Can I trust in their decisions? And can I trust them overall?
Go. Please.
Very great topic. Trust.
Yeah.
It takes time to get there. We obviously know. I think you kind of start off with trust, and it's a point system. You start off at 100, and then it goes down from there, and it spreads, you know, in other ways. I believe that having trust not only means being faithful, but I believe in trusting somebody with my heart, with my my feelings. You know, I trust that I can talk to him and he doesn't take my words and use them against me, you know, when I'm talking to him about things that are not comfortable. Everything that we talk about is not beautiful and great, but sometimes I reveal some things about myself that I'm not proud about, but I trust that my words won't be used against me. That's a big thing. I trust that he is well, it's too late now, but I trust that he is a great father. And I trust that he is, you know, I knew going into it that he was going to be a great provider. I mean, we had very humble beginnings, but I saw the vision, way ahead,
We
looking
both
into
saw
the
that.
future. So it was easy to put my trust into him and into our relationship, and it allowed me to love more freely once I was able to identify that and know that I could trust him no matter what. Like it, and the trust made me become that ride or die much quicker. You
Right.
understand? Because I knew that that if anything were to happen, the chips are down. He's there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew that that if I'm not there, he's there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And when I say physically not there, I don't mean emotionally or mentally,
Right.
but he's there, and I appreciate that. Because a lot of people that have been together just as long as us don't have that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They just exist together. Yeah, they've been together 25 years or whatever it may be, but they just exist together
Yeah.
because the trust is not there. They just they're there,
Right.
and I appreciate that. So I'm just telling you on camera.
Thank you.
I'm not saying
Oh.
that.